The in-house model is becoming much more sophisticated. My advice is to partner actually with specific recruitment firms and work with them exclusively.
What trends have you seen in terms of being able to hire recruiters into your own teams? Hi and welcome to Talent Conversations. Joining me again is James Madders from Castanex. Thanks very much for joining us, James. So now we're going to be talking about in-house versus recruiter hiring teams. What trends have you seen in terms of being able to hire recruiters into your own teams?
The biggest challenge of any recruitment firm is finding the people who want to run through a brick wall to be successful. And you know, there are many recruiters out there who have started their recruitment journey just before the COVID pandemic or after, and they've not really had to hustle like us experienced recruiters had to back in 2005, 2006, 2007. And then not forgetting the travesties of 2009. So there is a very different type of recruiter that is now being bred. And I think the challenge is always finding someone who will wear their heart on their sleeve. You know, we are quite old-fashioned in our style as an individual business, and fundamentally that requires a lot of consultative approach to the work. It's not just does the CV match the job spec and then sending it and hoping it works, where a lot of that happens. So it's a real challenge to be able to find an individual who can present themselves well, who are not afraid to ask the right questions, got a hunger and drive. But we also need to consider that the in-house model is becoming much more sophisticated. You know, you have to embrace that businesses are thinking about their own staffing and the messages that they want to send as a business and working for their firms. And it's becoming much more sophisticated. So that's where the main challenge is, I find, because they want to try and copy us specialised recruiters where we do this full time, day in, day out. Sometimes that might be lacking, but they're getting there.
And where do you think the challenges are for direct employers trying to staff up their own recruitment teams with those from a kind of specialist recruiting background?
Well, there's a simple answer. You know, they just don't pay. I'm a big fan of internal acquisition, talent acquisition teams. And I think every business should have some form of talent acquisition team to represent themselves and do their own direct marketing for the opportunities they have. I'm a firm believer in it. But us recruiters, we need to partner with them. And the biggest challenge you face is most internal talent acquisition teams are designed and hired based out of procurement-led processes. So it's done as a cost-effective way to reduce the amount of agency spend and controlling the actual spend by having someone internally as a salary and their benefits package. So the biggest challenge you face is the very experienced and high achieving recruiters, they're actually earning quite well. And if they're in a commission-based environment where most of them are, and it's uncapped, why would you go for a slightly lesser paying role in-house just representing one brand, where when you work on an agency side, typically you would represent multiple businesses?
And what do you think direct employers can do to kind of try and improve that proposition and maybe attract more?
Well, it'd be unfair for me to sit here and say that you should just pay commission because that defeats the object of their models. However, my advice is to partner actually with specific recruitment firms and work with them exclusively. So find the ones, you know, that you really, really like. Come to an agreement on the financials, so you're still win-win in terms of the cost-saving exercises, but you're still incentivizing that recruitment agency who is going to sell you, who's going to spend all their time trying to represent you well and find the right talent for you. And then you can go off and go and do your own job and do other things that you need to do. So for me, I think by forming a strategic, exclusive relationship is probably more beneficial, because then you get an incentivized person to go out there and work tooth and nail to earn some commission, and that hunger and desire to find the right talent to fill the client's role. But then at the same time, it's still a cost-effective solution and a partnering opportunity as well.
Great. Thanks very much, James. Thanks for listening.